We're live?
Okay. Common Council meeting of April 21st, 2026. We have 4 resolutions, 5 consents, and 3 ordinances to be voted upon. And we also have a public hearing beginning at 5:40.
And then we have another one.
One at 5:40, one at 5:45, and one at 5:50.
Yes. Okay. Wednesday. So go ahead, Sharon.
Okay. All right. I don't have to read the ordinances, right? I just go right to the resolution.
Right, resolutions, then the consents, and then the ordinances.
Okay, resolution. 2526-177, resolution adopting the minutes from the last common council meeting. Any questions? No? Okay. Resolution 2526-178, resolution to waive registered agent penalties for 366 West Main Street by Alderman Marcel.
366 East Main Street is a Guy Park Manor. Okay, and that's, as you see in the resolution, it belongs to the New York State Canal Corporation, which is a public benefit corporation. So I think the reason why we're doing this is to notify our agent who collects the fees for all this, tell him through resolution that these people are waived from that.
We still had it owned by Sir William Johnson, I apologize.
Sir William
I wouldn't
Johnson.
be surprised.
Just
I know. That's one thing.
So this is owned by a corporation, but the people who,
It's owned by.
It's owned by the Canal Corporation.
No.
okay,
That's the state of New York. It's owned by the state of New York. You know, it's the Guy Park Manor across from Russo's Grill. That
Okay.
building,
oh,
The one
interesting.
that they're fixing,
the one
Yeah.
that fixes. It's their building
11 years.
and
It's definitely vacant, but it's,
it's,
they're
It was
fixing.
quite a few years ago that these penalties were assessed.
I was gonna say $5,000 over 2 years.
No, that was
Yeah.
like 22 and 23. We were just cleaning this up. We're just cleaning it up. They should have never been required to register, but they failed to register, and then we applied these penalties that we should have never
We're
applied.
updating that entire file. We're trying to get it all
We're just
squared away.
I
waiting.
feel like that should be in the resolution, but I don't wanna split hairs. That just, that they were never required to, we made a
Yeah,
mistake.
it's kind of self-explanatory because they are state aid, it's a state
State
agency,
agency.
so
Okay,
It does say they should have been exempt
they
from
should
the
have been
registration.
exempt.
The third whereas, yeah.
okay, good. I see you now.
okay,
Okay,
all right, thank you.
thank you, everybody.
All right,
Resolution 2526-179, resolution transferring funds. Post UV soda ash pumps.
2 replacement soda ash pumps are needed to add alkalinity to the drinking water. At the cost of $63,000, we're gonna decrease expense for chemicals and increase expense for the soda ash pump project for $63,000. Pretty simple.
Any questions?
Cool.
Resolution 2526-180, resolution appointing the audit. Audit is fine. Any questions?
well, I do have a question. We do, in the mailbox, we had the audit
Yes.
that was given to us. Louise, are we scheduling the exit audit on this?
Yes, I was actually gonna mention that tonight, that the auditors will be here our first May meeting.
Okay.
I was giving you copies of the audit to review ahead of time, if you choose to, but they will be here to answer questions and explain it, the first weekend, the first meeting in May.
Okay, perfect.
All right.
Thank you, yeah.
Then we have consents. 2526-181, resolution to write off property taxes for 123 North Mathias Avenue, Alderman Carpenter.
Okay, this property, they filed bankruptcy a while ago. It took a while to go through. And the city, through an administrative error, the city took possession of the house prior to the bankruptcy, prior to the end of the bankruptcy. So we have been working with the homeowner to transfer the house back to them, which we did. This is the final piece of it. And it's been going on since I think last June, only because we've had difficulty getting the owner to come in and take care of all the paperwork.
Correct.
So this is just correcting the issue and one and done. Any questions?
Resolution 2526-182, consent, resolution waiving 30-day advance notice application for liquor license, Dan's Backyard Barbecue.
Yes, Dan Nelly just took over the contract for Dan's Backyard Riverlink Park. So like we do with a lot of people who are in business, I know this council has no problem with Dan's Backyard, so we're gonna ask the state, we're gonna waive the 30-day waiver, and we're going to give him the permission to move ahead and apply for his his liquor license, That's what we're gonna do.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Any questions? Okay. Resolution 2526-183, consent, authorizing modification of contract with Dan's Backyard Barbecue in connection with concession or services, Riverlink Park.
Yes, after the last 2 weeks ago, when we did this contract here, there was a couple of things that we needed to modify. We all looked it over, and there was a few suggestions that needed to be done, and Alderman Carpenter picked up a couple of them, one being the tent. You know, we no longer have a tent anymore, and that was in the contract, you see? So there's no tent down there, so we can't say we're liable for a tent for him because we don't have one. Well, that's one of the things that has to be removed. Right, Mayor?
And it has been.
No?
It has been, right?
Yeah, no, it shouldn't have been in the one that you guys received the first place. So
That was a standard contract from before.
Yeah, it was, yeah,
That's just what it was. No problem.
right, that's what it was.
Anybody else?
So looking at the contract, I looked at them quickly,
Uh-huh.
side by side. So it looks like we've added in part 3, a concessionaire performance review, which is great to see.
Yeah, we had, during Chicken Wing Fest, which was very successful, I was with our Recreation Department leadership, and we went to Dan's and addressed some issues with him. And literally, these changes came from that conversation that we had with Dan. And I think it strengthens the city's position. And at the same time, it's, it clarifies some things that I know
Good for
everybody.
both parties, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm seeing changes on number 8 with equipment.
Number 8 with equipment, right? We had been leasing equipment for the previous licensee. And Dan, the new concessionaire does not need it. So we
Okay.
will not be leasing it this coming year, which saves us the lease amount, $1,500 per year.
Okay, so the things from when Cassandra Tessero was down there.
Correct.
So she's gonna take those out?
She's actually, I think, she said she was gonna get them today or tomorrow, yes.
Okay. So, all these things though, because we took out the whole list of
We.
washer and dryer,
He was looking for
walk-in
a- He was
cooler.
looking for a 2-year lease, it's a 2-year lease now. We put in the performance review at the end of year 1. And
Okay,
in our meeting today, we have a termination clause in there that if either party is unhappy with whatever the case may be, we can terminate the clause with proper notice. So we put the performance review in there after 1 year, just to say, okay, let's sit down, both of us, you talk to us about any issues and problems you have, we'll talk to you about any issues and problems we have. And if everybody's in agreement that things need to be changed, we'll come back to the council. If not, if everything looks good, we'll come back to the council. And if somebody doesn't want to continue the contract, we'll come back to the council. In any event, you'll have an opportunity at that time, if anything changes whatsoever, to vote again.
Thank you.
but I'm sorry, but back to the equipment though.
Yes,
Like the things that, all the equipment is taken out of this one. Are we still like the owners of
we own
the
what's
chest
left there.
freezer and everything that's in
We own
there?
what's left there. and that's ours. We don't pay any charge for
Held
those things.
responsible for the replacement of all city-owned equipment. Okay,
Dan will be bringing.
so that doesn't need to be listed out, it's just
Correct.
what's in there, okay?
And Dan is bringing in his own.
His own equipment.
Which he will maintain ownership of.
Yeah, that seems to be the changes
And
that I
I like
noticed.
how the CSX contract's in here too. The-
Everyone needs that, yeah. Okay. Yeah, Dan's very familiar with it, but, oh, but you do have attachment A at the back with the list.
With all the.
Okay, that's
Yes,
where, that's why I wondered, like,
Yeah,
how
again,
do
but
we
the first
state what
agreement,
do
the
we
first
own?
agreement that was circulated
Okay.
unfortunately was a previous,
Yeah.
it was not the actual agreement, and
Okay, yeah, I just wondered where the other list was, so there it is. Attachment A has the things that we actually own and that he will repair or talk to us about if it breaks.
We have public hearing.
okay. The public hearing is, which one is it?
It's ordinance A of 2026, to be known as ordinance 1 of 2026 is adopted. An ordinance modifying section 73-32A of the Amsterdam City Code pertaining to dog licenses, dog license fees. Anybody here to speak on that?
Okay, we'll close the public hearing.
Go ahead.
And you can go on.
We're gonna go
Are we
to
done
the
with
next one,
the,
545. No stop,
Any other questions on
So,
the concessionaire? Okay.
Go to the next consent resolution, correct?
Yeah, we got 5 more minutes to the next
Yeah.
public hearing. We have 2 more
oh, so
public
we got
hearings.
2 more minutes, okay. So, that's this one. We have resolution 2526-184 consent. Resolution providing for stipend to Corporation Council for representation of the City of Amsterdam in courts and court matters other than Amsterdam City Court. Or Irene Collins. Any questions? No? Let's see. The stipend is $250, and it is in relation to, let's see, where we're gonna read this, it'll be read again. For filings with the courts of the state of New York and other Amsterdam city courts. So this is an additional fee for
This is for Supreme Court, state Supreme Court appearances that our corporation counsel will be making on our behalf. The frequency and number of these appearances have increased over the years. And they require additional work and time and effort to prepare for, and this is in recognition of that. And so this is it will provide us with a solution to, when I say solution, it'll provide us with a solution to handling these things without having to go out and get additional counsel.
Is there an up to point? How many
Yeah,
hours?
we've got another resolution on here. James Marcello called me this morning. We have a resolution out, we're transferring $10,000.
I don't We have it,
That-
Yeah.
Oh, the
yes, we
next
do.
one.
It's the next
Okay.
consent.
That's the next resolution.
okay.
so if it goes beyond the $10,000,
We
we
would
would
have
be
to forward out to
notified?
council.
Okay, and we would discuss.
That's correct.
Okay.
And it is a guess, the answers are on the downswing now, the foreclosure actions that, but they're, Tony and I are still in discussion. He's gonna come up with a, just a for instance sort of thing that shows us how those appearances have increased and what's caused them, so that you guys all have a better understanding of when it would take place. But the dollar amount is set, and if we exceed that dollar amount, we will come to you and ask you for permission to.
Is that $250 an hour for this type of work, the going rate for
It's, I'm gonna.
low end, high end?
I'm not a lawyer, but
Yeah.
it's more like $300 an hour.
I think it's a very competitive rate.
The union lawyer's
Okay.
$500 an hour, I know that.
Okay, that's a good, barometer, I guess.
We did have,
I think I want to elbow in here the point, Mayor, that you asked me to make,
Oh, I did. No,
put
I-
together a package like this, rather than, refer all of these to outside. counsel.
correct. That's, and again, I've spoken to the council members regarding why I think it's a good idea in terms of, keeping it in-house.
Any other questions?
How many trips to the Supreme Court did you make last year?
I'm sorry?
Nope.
Oh, not,
Yeah.
Stacy? Stacy?
45.
5:45.
5:45.
Okay, we're gonna have another public hearing.
Second public hearing is ordinance B of 2026 to be known as ordinance number 2 of 2026 if adopted. An ordinance modifying Amsterdam City Code Section 228-48, Schedule 14, no stopping south side of Northern Boulevard at Clisby Avenue. Does anybody want to speak on that?
Public hearing is closed.
A couple of minutes. Go to the next consent, resolution 2526-185. Resolution 2025-26, budget transfer, corporation council stipend. Okay, the city has a separate resolution pending, which we just discussed, consent 184. And this is the stipend for $250 for the council. The matter is changed to be filed in the courts of the state of New York other than the Amsterdam City Court. Total amount is $10,000.
I have a question. Is this paid in billable hours or is this a flat $10,000 check?
No, it's billable hours. They're gonna feed up at $10,000
At $250 an hour.
and $350 an hour.
Any other questions?
Okay.
The last consent.
Any other questions, Bert? That's the last one?
We have one more,
Okay.
550.
Is ordinance B technically still open or have we closed it, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Okay, just curious.
Okay. Well, we got any more, no, do we have any more resolutions that you want to?
No, no
Oh,
more
okay, that's what I was
resolutions.
asking.
Oh, no, we're just waiting for this.
All right, we have one more,
One more,
at what time?
550.
I can't see what time is it.
47.
We got 3 minutes to go.
Yep.
Is it worth doing that?
New one, that's my old.
Sure.
It'll be on that one right there.
He doesn't have to.
There's a whole bunch.
Give me that.
Do you want to-
This is a whole half.
2 minutes.
Next one.
Yeah.
Just wait it out.
Yeah.
Tell me why.
I was just gonna shove this in there, but it never goes 30 minutes or less.
I didn't.
Okay, I am going to ask the council to make a motion that we go into executive session for pending litigation.
Pending the prospective litigation.
Thank you very much.
You're asking for that at the end of the meeting,
At the
right?
end of the meeting.
Yeah, I'll cite the proper section when it's time to make the motion.
All right.
But I think the mayor's just giving you an FYI that he wants to do that.
Okay. Got another minute to go.
Didn't get a chance to pass these out. Do you mind just taking another minute? While we're waiting, we'll get this.
Not enough time for engineering report before, so why don't we just,
Stacy, do you want to do yours?
I don't think I can get through it in a minute.
Thanks,
You
Chris.
want to do it? Chief Aggressive's offered to do it for me in less than a minute.
Okay.
You have to go up there.
Any questions?
All right, moving on.
well, it was a big day Saturday, everybody knows. We had Chicken Fest, we had cleanup, we had disc golf. It was a great day to be in Amsterdam. Great weather. unbelievable weather. I don't know what happened the next day, but Saturday was perfect for all those activities and events, and it was just new businesses. I walked into a new barber shop. I walked into a whiskey distillery that I didn't know was there. A lot of two new restaurants that I had never been into before. Just really exciting, really good stuff. People, right? Chief people were good behaved, and just a great day for Amsterdam. And I was really, really pleased with the turnout and with the whole thing. It was a good day to be in our city.
Who won Wingfest, Mayor? Who won Wingfest?
You're gonna ask me, huh?
Uh-oh. Does anyone know?
I
Bridge
just,
and Tavern, no, I'm sorry.
Rug City won
Rug City,
for
Rug
best
City.
wing, and then the new LPG won for hottest.
Right, on West Main Street.
Dang, I gotta check that place out, me and you, it's in your ward.
Okay.
All right, so we're gonna open a
Let's do it.
public hearing for ordinance C of 2026 to be known as ordinance number 3 of 2026 if adopted. An ordinance modifying Amsterdam City Code Section 228-47, Schedule 13, parking prohibited at all times, Clisby Ave, both sides between 133 Clisby Avenue and 2nd Street. Anybody want to speak on that? Okay, it's closed.
Mike, do you want to do your engineering report at this point in time? Sure.
Let's see, we're finalizing, our, street paving program at this point. Contractor anticipates a really May start. I think the only anticipated increases in cost would be the items that were bid for the fuel and asphalt price adjustments. Everything else, those are independent items within the contract. We follow the DOT procedure in using those. And it's a good way to maintain multi-year contracts where costs change month to month. And needless to say, anything related to oil in the last month or so has changed. It will not have a significant impact, but it will have a little bit of impact on the overall cost of the project. That being said, what I have tried to do is target about $2 million of work. Actually, $2 million of paving work plus $156,000 reserve for the city share of the Crescent Ave Bridge. Since there's a 5% local match on that project, 95% federal funding. All told, right now I'm anticipating $2.2 million in the project with about 500,000 in chips held in reserve. 490, but that and again, that's based on the estimates, but that's a very close number. And that also does not take into account the additional $100,000 of contingency I have in this year's estimate for changes or additional work or change in unforeseen conditions within any of the street paving. Broadway Hill Sanitary Sewer Project have finally received the escrow money. That work will start in probably 2 weeks. It'll be a short project and it will improve sewer flow vastly and provide the additional capacity necessary for the Amazon facility. CDB demolition project is substantially complete. All the base bid, the 23 homes are down. I think Gore Construction did a pretty darn good job. In addition, we did the 2 additional addresses. One was a debris pile and one was an additional structure that we demolished and had removed. And Crescent Ave Bridge, I don't know if anybody's been by there, I know that it's hard to get there unless you're intentionally driving to the baseball field. The steel's in place, they'll begin with the deck work. Target date for the final completion or substantial completion and opening the bridge is still July of this year. Work on the water filter, the filters at the water treatment plant continue. And we are still working with DEC on the review of the wastewater treatment plant upgrade design. And we expect comments and that revision so that we can get that permit to construct as soon as possible.
Any questions for the engineer? Five minutes.
Are you gonna have the list again put out? Did you update or change the list from last
I
meeting?
will, I
or-
basically cut that list in half. I mean, that's the list we've got right now.
Okay.
I would like you, Mike, to get that to all the council, because I do want to talk to them.
Sure.
Regarding that list. I didn't know if you distributed that or not.
I
What he
have-
did
I
was,
mean,
we drove the city with the assistant engineer and went through your list, went through all the lists and came up with that recommendation based upon all the factors that we talked about earlier. But I want you each to take a look at that list and we can discuss it.
You can keep that, I've got other copies.
Okay, well, yeah, you guys will send it. to
Well, right now, that's.
Yeah.
Okay. Kelly, do you have any more questions about that?
No, not really.
So the report for the clerk's office for this month's meeting, for last month's what we did. Birth certificates, we printed 160 birth certificates, which were 3 more than 2025. 151 death certificates, which was 1 more than 2025. Dog licenses were down by 3. We only printed 77 instead of 80 from last year. And marriage certificates, there were 7 less. Last year we printed 25 and this year 18. There were 34 new births in 2026, 31 deaths, 32 new dog licenses out of the 77, and 6 couples came in to get their marriage licenses. 72 foils were processed in the month of March. 10 of those were accident reports, 27 were police incident reports, 5 were miscellaneous items, and there were 30 property inquiries. There were 17 notary requests, which I took care of, and then handicap placards, there were 43 that were given to residents. There were 39 permanent, and 4 of those were temporary. We are moving forward with next request by Civic Plus. We're expected to go live next week, April 29th. Training for all users was today. Everyone who currently provides information for these FOIL requests went through training today. Emails who will be sent out to those who frequently request property information on the 24th. You'll see attached that there's a flyer that I put together that has a QR code. People who walk in, they'll be able to scan this QR code and submit a FOIL request right from their phone. And then there's a link that's going to be posted to our website on April 29th. So they'll be able to go online and submit their FOIL requests.
So this is not live yet?
Not yet,
Okay.
not yet.
No, don't be worried.
On the 29th, so don't share this with anybody. This is not live until after the 29th.
Don't share it with anybody, like, the TV.
The public?
No,
We're
don't
sharing
share,
it
no,
with
I'm
everybody
sharing
right
it with you, and then that's it, until
Well, yeah,
next
'cause I
week.
took a picture and I was gonna post it, so I'm not gonna post it.
Yeah, not yet,
Yes,
so we're pretty excited.
yeah, that's awesome.
Thankfully, we don't have 6
We'll
viewers.
post it on our Facebook and everything, I'm sure.
Michelle
Put it out
posted on
there, yeah.
Facebook.
Thank you for your hard work on that, by the way.
Yeah,
I
this
had
is
a-
great.
I second that, thank you very much.
You're welcome. I had a lot of help from Marvin, so we can't leave Marvin out of this,
I
so
was here, I was gonna,
Yeah, he snuck
you
out.
stuck around, so you get the thank you.
Yes.
pass it on tomorrow. So that's it for me.
Okay. Meeting, we started, ready to go, right?
Yes.
Let's call the meeting to order. Stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Alderwoman Quistamars.
Here.
Alderman Holliday.
Here?
Alderwoman Collins.
Here.
Alderman Carpenter.
Here.
Alderman Marticello.
Here.
Okay,
Motion to
resolution,
adopt, go ahead.
ready?
Motion, go ahead.
Okay, resolution 2526.
No, you
No,
gotta make a
motion
motion
to
to adopt the agenda.
Oh, I'm sorry. Motion to adopt the agenda. 4 resolutions, 5 consents, 3 ordinances. Call the roll.
Alderwoman Collins.
Aye.
Alderman Carpenter.
Aye.
Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Alderwoman Quistamars.
Aye.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Okay, we have no proclamations this evening and no communications or presentations that I'm aware of. So we will move right to the public participation section of our meeting. And if anyone would like to speak, we got a 5-minute time limit. State your name and address. Chet?
John Archek, which over 18 Austin Street. I was wondering, Mayor, WCSS was kind of like national news. We don't get local news anymore, and I used to like the local news. Did anybody ever ask WCSS why this big change happened? And obviously, Joe Isabel and Sam Thurlow and Mike Mancini are with us, but afterwards it went national, kind of pro-Republican, but even I got tired of it. So, but I missed the local news, and I don't think people are informed. It was a little bit different than, say, the Recorder, and I was just wondering if anybody contacted them to see if we could get some local news on here. Another thing is, the last time I was here at the March 17th meeting, there was some talks a little bit about the Public Service Commission, and I mentioned about Rory Christian. Sometimes I say Rory Calhoun for some reason, but Rory Christian who's the head of the Public Service Commission. I was watching the New York State Assembly. I watched that a lot, like I said, and they said that the governor wanted this Rory Christian, but the New York State Senate had to approve them. So they approved them, and then they complained to the Senate that they were getting a lot of complaints about the electric rates going up, which is on the New York State Assembly side, they says we pay over 50% more than other states when it comes to electric. And, so it's something to look into, same thing with the cable. I mean, I can't believe the cable rates, and sometimes that goes up 3 times, and they didn't even talk about that. But I mean, it's something that I think we got to really check into it, so like that, because it's all these complaints about the electric and these utility bills are really hurting the people locally or so like that. So it's kind of ridiculous. New York State Senate says, hey, okay, we'll approve the guy. Then they don't like him afterwards when he increases the rates. Now, the New York State is supposed to have, the grid is supposed to be very, archaic, it's very old. So they have a lot of excuses why the rates keep on going up. I'm sure that's with the cable. I brought that up before. I think it was 3 times the cable went up just last year. Nobody says anything. It's ridiculous.
Alderman Carpenter did bring up a resolution which was passed that was sent to the state arguing about just what you're talking about.
All right, that's good. That's good. We got to do something about into that. And here's something else I thought I'd throw in or so as a taxpayer. Amsterdam has a 65% graduation rate. And could you imagine that we pay tax? I was looking on the smartphone, and we are one of the worst areas or so. 65% graduation rate, and yet we're paying taxes. What are they doing in that school district that the people? When I graduated in 1973, I think there might have been 1 or 2 people that didn't graduate. I mean, what's going on? I can understand there's people, probably say, oh well, I don't need to go to college, or I don't need to graduate to get a job flipping burgers or so. I mean, in the old days, they had a lot of factories. I worked in factories most of my life. The factories are gone and now you flip burgers or you work in a department store. But that is ridiculous or so. And I wish somebody would check into that and question this and say, what are they doing? So that's it.
Thank you, Jeff.
All right.
Anyone else like to speak this evening?
I hope my voice doesn't break up. I was, after I retired, I fell behind.
What's your name, sir?
Earl Hopkins. I fell
Earl
behind on
Hopkins,
my
wow.
house taxes.
You remember me, Earl? Are you Earl Hopkins?
Yeah.
You used to live on Guy Street?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, I.
Earl, give your address,
You don't live in a person?
Name and address.
190 Division Street,
Okay.
here in there.
Thank you, Earl. Go ahead.
And I got tough, to make my house taxes when I retired. And I'm doing pretty good. And then I got hit with the school tax and a quarter tax along with my makeup tax all at once. I went in there smiling, had a head full of hair. And once you told me that,
You lost
I
your
needed
hair.
help to get back to my car. I'm leaving a lot of hair on the ground. But my son has moved back in and I want to get rescheduled to make the makeup and again. I don't know if this is a proper place to say this, but
You want to pay it?
see, I'm making payments to catch up.
Yeah, you have to do that downstairs at the treasurer's office.
But I like to have my catch up to be a little less so I can put money aside.
Louise, why don't you explain that, what you can do?
I'm not quite sure what you're asking. I'm sorry. Are you looking to go into like a payment plan?
Yeah.
Well, we.
Can we come meet with you,
We'll
like,
set up a meeting.
set up
in
a
our
meeting
meetings.
with Louise? Yeah.
Yeah, this is a meeting, it's okay, Earl.
I don't know.
No, I understand. I understand.
I'll
I wish we
some
could
other
take your
dark
money.
faces be here and make you feel more comfortable.
Absolutely, don't worry about it. But if we do this during the day, the treasurer, are you available during the day? Can you come
Yeah,
back?
I'm retired.
Okay, great.
My parents are gone, so I'll have to ask them.
Yeah.
You're gonna go to the controller's office?
Yeah, I think that's the best
Tomorrow?
bet. Just tomorrow,
What
come
time
in
are you there, Louise?
and we'll take care of you.
I actually have a pretty busy schedule. I'll be in and out of my office throughout the day, but if I'm
You
available,
tell
I'll
me
be
when.
happy to meet with you for sure.
You tell me when you want me to meet.
Tomorrow, late in the day,
Thursday.
late in the day would be better,
Okay.
like maybe
I'll
3
give my
o'clock?
number, so you can just call me and I can run down.
Yeah, give us your number, Earl. Or maybe you should give it publicly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll give it to you.
Oh, you said
Yeah.
3 o'clock. You gotta tell him 3 o'clock. We'll be here at 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock.
Here's,
Okay.
If you could
3
come
o'clock.
between 3 and 4, I will be available to meet with you.
Cool.
No, listen, he'll be here at between 3 and 4. Earl, you'll be here at 3, 4 at City Hall, okay? Thank you, Earl.
Thank you, Earl.
Thank you very
Good seeing
much.
you again. All right, anyone else? Okay, then we're on to.
Now you're guy for
Controller report.
Okay, the report that I passed out tonight represents 9 months of revenue and expenditure activity. We're right on track with where we should be this time of year. And our contingency balances are still pretty healthy. With that said, we are actively working on the
Budget, which I have in
26,
front of me,
27
which I have done
budget.
this week, I promise you guys, but it's a little bit of a guessing game, with the state budget still being up in the air a little bit, so we're making some assumptions that we feel, the longer we wait, the better the assumptions will be, but we feel very confident now, I think that what we've got down on paper is gonna work, so by the end of this week, I'll have a budget message and the budget in your hands, hopefully, God willing. I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, that was really everything I had to say. I already mentioned, that the Bonadio will be here at our next meeting to report on our
Yeah,
budget.
you all have a copy that you've all got a copy of the
Yes.
report now?
And I also have it available electronically if, anyone would prefer an electronic copy, I'd be happy to email it. So, that said, I'm here if you have any questions.
I know I did want to mention that we did get the $1.1 million reimbursement
yes.
from the state,
Yeah.
What is it, reconstruction? No,
Yes.
what's it?
Financial restructuring.
Thank you very much, which we've been waiting for a long, long time, which is going to enable us to pay off a bond that we took out while we were waiting for it, which is going to be, but we're really happy to get that. And that came in this week, so that was good news. But I think, we'll have a budget by the end of this week. We worked very hard on it. And I thank everybody all for all their cooperation, all the department heads, staff, and Louise, of course. But I think it'll be a good budget for everybody.
I got a quick question.
Yes, go ahead.
So if I were to take every single one of these sections, 5, and do the math on it, we're negative $11,649. If you were to give a name to that number, what would you give that number?
We're.
Do you know what I'm
I
saying?
want to make sure I understand what.
Yeah, so if I
We're
took the $1 million that were 1.1 that were down in the general fund and the revenue that we're actually in the surplus with the water fund and the sewer fund and the golf fund, which good job golf. And then, take the deficit that we're in the sanitation fund, that total number is negative 11,649. What would you call that number?
Deficit?
Or the overall deficit or overall
Our
revenue?
operating budget
Right.
deficit.
Do you think that's worth adding to the controller's report moving forward? I think that's a nice number to kind of look at the overall.
It's tough because, I try to present these numbers to you every month, but the timing of the way our money flows in and flows out is not like line up,
Yes,
ideally for a report of this format.
okay,
So just because something shows a deficit now does not mean it's going to end, the year as a deficit.
right,
It just, like we could get like our sales tax payments quarterly and that's a big
of course.
source of revenue. So, I just don't know that this necessarily reflects like where the year is going to end.
Fair enough, yeah, that's wonderful.
And that's
Thank you
why
for that answer.
the report at the end of the year kind of summarizes, but this is very important because I look at it all the time. I look at cash balances and things like that. But again,
Right.
that number that you're talking about really doesn't mean anything until
Until the end,
the end.
yeah,
Right.
right,
Until we
Audited fund
freeze and
balance
take a
number.
snapshot and say, okay, this is what we got.
right.
And again, this year we have a surplus, as you'll see from,
Mhm.
the report.
Thank you,
Really just
Appreciate
for
that.
monitoring purposes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
totally,
good question though.
thank you.
Louise, if I was to interpret this, 87 in the general fund, 87% of the expenditures are in 19 million. And 82% are in, which is 5% difference, but yet we're only 1 million behind. This tells me our revenue is going to exceed our expenditures due to the fact that 5% difference here would equal a big change, am I right?
Yeah, it's gonna change quite a bit. Keep in mind, the expenditures also include encumbrances. We technically haven't like spent every dollar, even though it's listed as an expenditure, hasn't just been encumbered. We're like committing money, but we haven't actually spent it yet.
But it does, this looks positive, I can say this.
I have no cause for concern at this point. I think we're gonna end the year kind of right where we need to be.
Very good.
Wonderful,
Thank you, Louise.
it's good work.
All right, thank you, Louise. Then we will be done with Michael's done his. We have no old business, so we can get on to the new business if we can. Resolutions, please.
Resolution number 2526-177, resolution adopting minutes from last common council meeting by Alderwoman Collins.
So moved. Call the roll.
Alderwoman Collins. Aye. Alderman Carpenter.
Aye.
Alderman Marticello.
All right,
Alderwoman Quistamars.
Aye.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye,
Resolution number 2526-178, Resolution to waive registered agent penalties for 366 West Main Street by Alderman Marticello.
I think you need to read the first two whereas clauses.
Whereas in 2022 and 2023, penalties totaling $5,000 were levied onto the tax bill of 366 West Main Street, known as Guy Park Manor, in accordance with Chapter 156 of the City Charter, non-resident, residential, or commercial property owner registration, for failing to designate a registered agent. Whereas the property is owned by New York State Canal Corporation, which is a public benefit corporation established pursuant to New York State's Public Authorities Law that operates as a subsidiary of the New York Power Authority.
Okay, read one more.
Whereas property owned by a public benefit corporation should have been exempt from the registration requirement.
Thank you. So moved.
Any questions on this? We are having our assessor, he's putting together a complete list of all of these, so that, this was one that just we missed, but we will have that very shortly.
Call the roll, please.
Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Alderwoman Quist Mars.
Aye.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Alderwoman Collins. Alderman Carpenter.
Aye.
Resolution number 2526-179, resolution transferring funds post-UV soda ash pumps by Alderman Carpenter. Whereas 2 replacement soda ash pumps are needed to add alkalinity to the drinking water. And whereas the current soda ash pumps are failing and do not have redundancy. And whereas the quoted cost of $63,000 for proprietary replacement soda ash pumps, which was not included in the current year operating budget. And whereas the chemical budget line for fiscal year 2025-26 is forecast to maintain a surplus adequate to cover the cost of the replacement pumps. And now therefore be it resolved, the controller is authorized to amend the 2025-26 budget as follows. Decrease expense chemicals, $63,000. Increase expense soda ash pump project, $63,000.
So moved. Any questions? Call the roll.
Alderman Carpenter.
Aye.
Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Alderwoman Quist Mars.
Aye.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Alderwoman Collins.
Aye.
Resolution number 2526-180, resolution approving audit by Alderwoman Collins.
So moved. Any questions? Call the roll.
Alderwoman Collins.
Aye.
Alderman Carpenter.
Aye.
Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Alderwoman Quist Mars.
Aye.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Resolution number 2526-181, consent. Resolution to write off property taxes for 123 North Matthias Ave by Alderman Carpenter. Whereas the city took ownership of real property located at 123 North Matthias Avenue through a foreclosure proceeding in 2018. Whereas the owner filed for bankruptcy prior to foreclosing, so the city did not have the legal authority to take possession of the property. Whereas the assessor corrected the property ownership in the city's records, however, the deed was not transferred back to the prior owner by the county in a timely fashion. The owner and the city both recently signed a mutual release of claims that states that the owner is responsible for paying all related property taxes and user fees as of January 1st, 2025. Resolved, the controller is requesting approval to write off $10,464.46. This amount represents the principal balance of all outstanding taxes incurred prior to 2025 that were not included in the bankruptcy.
So moved. Any questions? Call the roll.
Alderman Carpenter.
Aye.
Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Alderwoman Quist Mars.
Aye.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Alderwoman Collins.
Aye.
Resolution number 2526-182, consent. Resolution waiving 30-day advance notice application for liquor license, Dan's Backyard Barbecue LLC, DBA Rivers Edge 2.0 by Alderman Marticello.
So moved. Any discussion? Call the roll.
Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Alderwoman Quist Mars.
Aye.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Alderwoman Collins.
Aye.
Alderman Carpenter.
Aye.
Resolution 2526-183, consent. Resolution authorizing modification of contract with Dan's Backyard Barbecue LLC in connection with concessionaire services at Riverling Park by Alderman Marticello.
So moved. Any discussion here? Thank you. Call the roll.
Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Alderwoman Quistamars.
Aye.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Alderwoman Collins.
Aye.
Alderman Carpenter.
Aye.
Resolution number 2526-184 consent. Resolution providing for stipend to Corporation Counsel for representation of the City of Amsterdam in courts and court matters other than Amsterdam City Court by Alderwoman Collins. Whereas the Office of Corporation Counsel is a part-time position, and whereas with regard to matters to which the city requires representation in the courts of the state of New York and other than Amsterdam City Court, it is understood that these matters require a significant time investment, and due to the combination of factors including modifications in various laws and increased levels of initiation of special proceedings, the city is in need of legal representation in such matters with much more frequency than any other prior juncture. And whereas Corporation Counsel Casali has expressed a desire to engage outside counsel for representation of the city in such matters due to the increased time investment involved in the representation of the city in such proceedings. And whereas, as an alternative to an employment of counsel that Corporation Counsel is authorized to make pursuant to Amsterdam City Charter, Section C-45, the City of Amsterdam is desirous to offer Corporation Counsel a stipend at a rate of $250 per hour for representation of City of Amsterdam in matters pending or to be filed in courts of the State of New York other than Amsterdam City Court as of March 9th, 2026.
So moved. Any questions? Call the roll.
Alderwoman Collins.
Aye.
Alderman Carpenter.
Aye.
Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Alderwoman Quistamars.
Aye.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Resolution number 2526-185 consent. Resolution 2025-26 budget transfer Corporation Counsel stipend by Alderwoman Collins.
Just read the now therefore.
Now therefore be it resolved that the controller is authorized to amend the 2025-26 fiscal year budget as follows. Decrease expense contingency, $10,000. Increase expense Corporation Counsel Supreme Court, $10,000.
So moved. Any questions? Call the roll.
Alderwoman Collins.
Aye.
Alderman Carpenter.
Aye.
Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Alderwoman Quistamars.
Aye.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Ordinance A of 2026 to be known as Ordinance 1 of 2026 if adopted to be voted upon. An ordinance modifying section 73-32A of the Amsterdam City Code pertaining to dog licensing fees by Alderwoman Collins. Part 1, legislative intent, section 73-32A of the Amsterdam City Code codifies dog licensing fees for dogs harbored within the city of Amsterdam. The purpose of this instant ordinance is to increase the licensing fees for dogs to the amount of $12 with an additional annual fee in the amount of $8 in the event that the subject is not spayed and or neutered. Part 2, be it enacted by the Common Council of the City of Amsterdam that Chapter 73-32A of the Amsterdam City Code is modified to read as follows. The City of Amsterdam hereby establishes the annual fee for a dog license issued pursuant to 73-21 at $12, to which the amount shall be added $8 if the dog is not spayed or neutered. Section 3, effectiveness. A public hearing having been held on April 21st, 2026, and upon ratification by Common Council, the instant local law shall become effective pursuant to C-33 of the Charter.
So moved. Any questions? Call the roll.
Alderwoman Collins.
Aye.
Alderman Carpenter.
Aye.
Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Alderwoman Quistamars.
Aye.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Ordinance B of 2026 to be known as Ordinance number 2 of 2026 if adopted to be voted upon. An ordinance modifying Amsterdam City Code Section 228-48, Schedule 14, no stopping, south side of Northern Boulevard at Clisby Avenue by Alderman Holliday. Part 1, legislative intent. The intersection of Northern Boulevard and Clisby Avenue continues to experience a narrowing of the lane of traffic due to increased patronage of the existing businesses currently located within the corridor. This action is believed to be necessary at this intersection of this section of Northern Boulevard due to limited visibility to the curve and the grade of the roadway. The intention of the instant ordinance is to modify Schedule 14 of Section 228-48 to provide for no stopping at any time on Northern Boulevard on the south side of the street between the entrance of 1 Northern Boulevard and 20 Northern Boulevard. Part 2, enactment. Be it enacted by the Common Council of the City of Amsterdam that the following being added and/or modified to 14 of Section 228-48 as set forth below. Add, no stopping at any time on Northern Boulevard on the south side of the street between the entrance of 1 Northern Boulevard and 20 Northern Boulevard. Section 3, effectiveness. A public hearing having been held on April 21st, 2026, and upon ratification by Common Council, the instant local law shall become effective pursuant C-33 of the Charter.
Question?
Questions, yeah,
I'm sorry, Earl, you can't speak during this portion of the meeting.
call the roll, please.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Alderwoman Collins.
Aye.
Alderman Carpenter.
Aye.
Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Alderwoman Quistamars.
Aye.
Ordinance C of 2026 to be known as ordinance number 3 of 2026 if adopted to be voted upon. An ordinance modifying Amsterdam City Code Section 228-47, Schedule 13, parking prohibited at all times, Clisby Avenue, both sides between 133 Clisby Avenue and 2nd Street by Alderman Holliday. Part 1, legislative intent. The intersections of Clisby Avenue at Devendorf Street, 1st Street, and 2nd Street continue to experience a narrowing of the lane of traffic due to increased patronage of the existing businesses currently located within the corridor. Consideration is being given for public safety to this section of Clisby Avenue due to limited visibility due to the curve and grade of the roadway. The intention of the instant ordinance is to modify Schedule 13 of Section 228-47 to provide for no parking on either side of Clisby Avenue between 133 Clisby Avenue and 2nd Street. Part 2, enactment. Be it enacted by the Common Council of the City of Amsterdam that the following be added and/or modified to 13 of Section 228-47 as set forth below. Add, parking prohibited at all times, Clisby Avenue, both sides between 133 Clisby Avenue and 2nd Street. Section 3, effectiveness. A public hearing having been held on April 21st, 2026, and upon ratification by Common Council, the instant local law shall become effective pursuant to C-33 of the Charter.
Thank you for both of those, by the way.
You're welcome.
Great. Any questions? Call the roll, please.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Alderwoman Collins.
Aye.
Alderman Carpenter. Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Alderwoman Quistamars.
Aye.
Thank you very much, Steve. Could I get a motion to go into executive session?
Sorry, that's Mayor, the section is, one moment, I'm sorry. Public Officers Law, Section 105, Sub 1, Sub D, for discussions regarding proposed pending litigation. I would ask for that motion.
Make a motion to go into executive session.
Thank you.
Alderman Carpenter.
Aye.
Alderman Marticello.
Aye.
Alderwoman Quistamars.
Aye.
Alderman Holliday.
Aye.
Alderwoman Collins.
Aye.
The engineer we're not gonna be talking about this in executive session, but I want to give you a street program.
See you.